What Ibrahim Traore has done for Burkina Faso, what Ibrahim Traore has done can weaken the West.
Yeah.
When he achieves everything that he wants to achieve, it will weaken the West. I'm saying that because Ibrahim Traore has taken some measures,
Yeah.
you know. For example, has cancelled license of certain West companies' mining license.
Burkina Faso's interim president, Ibrahim Traore, has cancelled the gold mining license for Nordgold, a major Russian mining company. As one of the biggest producers of gold in Burkina Faso, Nordgold has been in operation there since 2008 and turns out about 500,000 ounces of gold annually. Nonetheless, the business has been charged with violating human rights and causing environmental harm.
And these companies were exploiting the resources of Burkina Faso. Burkina Faso is the seventh country, largest country on mining of gold. They are more into gold and farming. Now, West countries were exploiting gold of Burkina Faso or resources of Burkina Faso. But since Ibrahim Traore took power, he has put some measures that will make sure the economy of Burkina Faso has grown. And by doing this, the first thing to do is to stop the exploitation of resources.
Burkina Faso, often overshadowed by its more prominent neighbors, is emerging as a beacon of progress in Africa, showcasing a series of groundbreaking initiatives that promise to transform the nation. These are not just plans for change, they are blueprints for a revolution that could redefine the future of Africa. From implementing free healthcare services and investing in nuclear energy, to revamping its infrastructure and revitalizing its cultural heritage, the government is making strategic moves that could set a new standard for development across the continent.
In short, what the guy is doing, nothing comes out of the country without the knowledge of the government. Nothing goes out illegally.
Nothing goes out illegally?
Nothing comes in illegally. Okay, so whatever has been happening, maybe by the people from the West, especially France, is that they've been doing it. They haven't been actually seeking the consent of the government, maybe the government officials, or maybe Burkina Faso as a country before they do everything. Maybe they perform all the business they've been performing. For example, they've been doing it illegally.
For example, they have been mining this gold. You know, gold is very expensive. Sure. It's one of the expensive resources. They have been mining this gold and they have been selling or buying it at a very, very cheap price.
Exactly.
Exporting it and then importing it back at a very high price.
Yeah.
So, that's one way of exploiting. I saw a video when there's some young people were in Congo mining and they looked poor, you know. And I can tell from this mining, they are not getting anything good out of it. And it is gold, my brother.
They are mining expensive things.
Yeah.
But the miners themselves, when you look at them, they are people who, they are people, when you look at them, the standards of life are very
low living standard.
Okay?
Yeah.
Those are the kind of the things that are happening even in Burkina Faso and in many countries in Africa. Okay? And so what Ibrahim Traore is actually doing, has actually done, you know, there is no more favors.
No more favors.
No more favors.
No more being a puppet.
There is no more humiliation, maybe intimidation. That if you don't allow me to do this, I'm not going to help you, or maybe I'm not going to do this. Like, he's trying to tell them, no colonizing us anymore.
For example, when you go to a supermarket,
sure,
you're going to buy cereals. You pay $1, you get cereals worth $1. That's what needs to happen.
Exactly.
You come to Burkina Faso, you are asking for gold, you pay the amount. Now, right now, Burkina Faso, Traore has started build a first reserve gold bank in Burkina Faso to ever happen. Sometimes I wonder, all these years, what were these people doing? These are the leaders. Now, this means that Burkina Faso will control the price of its gold. Will control the price.
They are not under pressure.
They are not under pressure.
Under anybody, maybe anybody's influence that you're supposed to do this, you're supposed to do this. They are governing themselves as a country. Nobody is governing them. Because before Ibrahim Traore, they were being like the previous government that Ibrahim Traore took over from. It was a kind of a government that actually they were being asked what to do. Maybe you're seeking, instructions from certain people to do a certain thing. Before you cannot just come out maybe and do something because this is your country. You're doing it because of the influence of another party.
You're being controlled.
You're being controlled, and that is what has been happening. That is what Ibrahim Traore is trying to do away with completely.
Do you think he can achieve this?
Very easily. He can. It depends. The
But
problem...
the issue of securities, these people are not letting him do his work very well. Burkina Faso has been under attacks a lot of times, security issues. And these security issues, some of them is allegedly caused by the West.
And that's why Ibrahim Traore, before he began this movement, number one thing he dealt with was security.
To find new partners, that's Russia.
He knows. He knows it's very dangerous because he's not the first person. Sankara was there before him. Okay?
Yeah.
You know what happened to him.
He was killed by his friend.
He was killed by his friends.
The influence
and
of
therefore,
the West.
The best way to do it and the best way to achieve it, number one, he should start by the people surrounding him. The people around him should be aware of the people around him, should be aware of the people that are actually on his back. Okay?
Yeah.
Because it's dangerous. He can die anytime. Because if he dies right now, we won't start maybe asking questions. How did it happen?
Well,
we already know what would have happened.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
And so he can achieve it if he can only deal with the issue of security first.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
He should start by actually safeguarding himself, and then he dedicate himself to this work, this assignment. It's going to be easy.
It's going to be easy.
Yeah.
And it's going to be hard at the same time.
It's going to be hard at the same time.
Now, the first statement I started with I was saying that the measures that Ibrahim Traore has took will weaken the West. And you are asking, how is it weakening the West? It's because a lot of Western countries like France, UK, America, and other countries, they are depending from the resources they are getting from Africa. And they have been getting these resources in a cheap way. They have been some stealing them, getting them, creating wars and getting the resources. And if Africa countries or if Burkina Faso will start keeping measures so that they can get these resources legally, because we must do business with them. We must create good relationship with the other countries, US, and they are these countries. It's not that they are bad, but some leaders from that country they wanna colonize back.
Yeah.
Colonizers were bad. It's not, that does not mean that all Americans or all white people are bad.
Yeah.
So if a country, for example, if a country put some measures to control how resources is being exported from its country, that means that these countries will not get the resources that easily. And this gold, this copper, this iron is what is building the economy of the West countries.
Yeah.
Now, this will weaken the West because they will have to do more to get these resources. They will have to follow the rules of Burkinabe to get these resources.
Sometimes I think,
that's why I was saying that it will weaken the West.
Sometimes I think if the people from the West wouldn't have come to Africa, maybe during the colonization period, they wouldn't be where they are today.
Yeah,
the difference between us and the people from the West is one. These guys realize themselves before we do. Okay?
Yeah.
These guys acquired knowledge before we do.
Yeah.
And that is why they used the same knowledge to actually benefit themselves from us, because they knew that here in Africa is where a lot of resources are coming from. Okay?
Yeah.
And so sometimes we say, the people from the West, maybe the countries from the West, they are rich. They're the countries that are...
they use us
but they use us to get whatever they have right now.
For example, in British, they have the largest gold reserved bank.
Yeah.
And all those gold
not gold mining, not gold mining area.
Just a bank that
gold reserve
stock
bank.
Some gold.
That we need, sometimes we need to think.
And that's what is holding the economy.
Sometimes we need to actually wake up and think. British has got the biggest, like the largest gold reserve, a gold reserve bank where they reserve gold. But they do not have a single gold mining area. Okay?
Yeah.
So all these golds they are reserving is coming from Africa. There is no country here in Africa, even a single country, that has got a gold reserve bank. Not even one. Okay? Not even one. But in British, they have the largest gold reserve bank.
And most of their gold come from Ghana,
You see,
come from, West
Wh-
countries,
which means
South Africa.
which means we are very potential.
Yeah.
We can do better, we can do big, we can do huge, but it is only that we cannot do it because these people they have made it very hard for us. Okay.
Yeah.
And so if we can actually wake up sincerely, maybe we are going to surpass these countries in one way or the other, or maybe we are going to chase them at a very high speed. And those countries, definitely, they are going to be very weak because they depend on us to be where they are. And even today, let me tell you something. Let me enlighten you on something. Do you know why these people are still invading in our countries? Do you know why we have maybe the US in Kenya? Do you know why we had France in Burkina Faso before the coming of Ibrahim Traore?
Yeah.
It's because they still need us. These guys still need us. If we can block all the ways, like if we can close every hole for them to access Africa, it's going to be very easy for them to continue glowing, or rather for them to continue being strong the way they are being strong. Definitely, they're going to be very weak.
They are very to be very weak.
Yeah.
If a country blocks every hole or every block,
Every route,
everything.
everywhere they can come.
Unless do legit business.
Unless we do legit business. Because
you want oil,
we've
you
gotten
take
to-
your oil,
We've gotten,
you give us what you
we've
want.
gotten to a point where nobody is a fool anymore. Our intelligence is changing daily. Our level of education is changing daily.
Yeah.
We are beginning to have professors in Africa. We are beginning to have people in Africa who can actually think more better than the people from the West.
We just need good leaders.
We just need good leaders. Okay.
to actualize what we have. Because you see, we have Traore has talking more about education.
Yeah.
To enlighten the youths.
Yes,
because
exactly.
the youths
Needs
are
education.
and the youths are the
moment
strong
you
at the pillar of the country.
the moment if there was a time I was telling you, if you can have youths who are educated in your country, or maybe in the society, you can achieve a lot.
Can achieve a lot.
Education is very important. Okay. Education is very important.
Just to have knowledge.
Even the youths who are trying to fight the government, it is becoming very easy for them to fight the government because they
The
know what
knowledge.
they are doing.
Yeah.
They have the knowledge of what they are doing. You
They
can't
know
lie.
their-
You can't lie to
They
them.
know their rights.
Yeah.
They know the laws of
They know
the
the laws
land.
of the land. You
Yeah.
can't actually, you cannot lie to them. You cannot deceive them. The people from the West have been the greatest weapon they've been using all along. I can tell you that, and you know, it is knowledge. It has been the greatest actually weapon they've been using.
They have this weapon we call knowledge. And they have this weapon, another one we call Africa. They are using us to fight us.
Yeah, exactly. And it's
Africa is their greatest weapon.
it's still-
Africa is their greatest where they get everything.
it's still part of knowledge. You know? You know, when you're talking about knowledge, you're talking about understanding. And so when I come to you, if your level of knowledge is a little bit high, it's very easy. It's very hard for me to deceive you. Even if I want to try and maybe ask you to do something that is wrong.
I know that one.
I know you're trying,
that one.
but because they know we are some kind of danders, they're trying to play with our minds. That is what it has
you
been
know,
happening all the time.
Africans, let me tell you, Africans, we have a lot of knowledge.
Okay.
I don't know what happened, but there's a story where a Nigerian, is it a Nigerian or Ghanaian, sold an airport to one white company. And there was no airport. This guy had this knowledge to convince these people that we have airport. And they paid. You know, Nigerians are very they have a lot of intelligence and everything. It's just we don't have the mechanism to put the intelligence at work. Kenyans are one of the people who are very intelligent.
And you know,
South Africa.
You know, if we would have this kind of mind, maybe this kind of intelligence, like a long time ago, if we'd actually acquire education a long time ago, I'm telling you.
But let me tell you, and maybe you will disagree, or you will agree with me on this one that I'm going to tell you. Africans had a lot of knowledge.
Really?
But the whites came and they knew we have knowledge. So they decided to do some things. We play by their game so that to weaken our knowledge. Now, they brought their education system. And they brought, they come with education system, religion, and these two things maybe. And this one, now, we had to, let me tell you something. We had to leave to stop how we were educating ourselves and to go to class to learn their ways.
But
let me tell you something before you continue. You know, when I am very knowledgeable in my mother tongue, very knowledgeable, and you are very knowledgeable in Swahili, and then you are telling me, for you to work in my company, you need to start learning Swahili. Now, all the 10 years I was knowing my mother tongue, I will leave it alone and start learning about yours. You know?
Yeah.
So, they came from their land to our land with their education system. So, we had to leave ourselves aside and start. You want to tell me if the white people, if the colonial, or if the white people did not come to our land and say that I have discovered Indian Ocean, you want to say we didn't know that we have Indian Ocean?
Let me tell you something.
You want to say, let me tell you first, you want to say that we could not know how to build roads.
But bro, there's something, sometimes we needed to, when we're talking about maybe knowing about the mother tongue, maybe rather you use that as an example. And we didn't know a lot of things. Really.
No.
We didn't know a lot of things.
No.
Like, for example, these guys came to Africa. Before they came to Africa, they knew the use of gold.
First of all, you haven't understood me. I am saying like this. I want you to follow me very closely. Follow me very closely. I'm trying to tell you. The richest man to ever lived in Africa or to ever lived in the world is from Mali. He had a lot of gold and he knew the use of gold. People knew the use of gold. We knew the use of cattle, kettles and everything. We knew about agriculture. We knew about everything we had to know. But the white people wanted to get this gold from our land. And they could not get it by using our ways because they don't know our ways. They don't know our language. They don't know how we operate. So for them to get a way to come and embezzle this gold and this everything, this resources from us, they had to make us throw our ways so that we can follow their ways. And they had to teach us their ways. And
that is where
and they came with every idea to make us think that our ways is bad. And they did that. They achieved that because on their ways, already they had weapons. The fire weapons. But for us, the weapons we had, it is arrows and everything. And sword and everything. But their ways, they are already know how to have the fire weapons. And that is, so they forced us on this.
That is where my point comes from. Before these guys got to a point of forcing, they began forcing us after we have realized these guys are pressing us. But before we are forced, we welcomed them
as visitors.
Black
people are most welcoming,
and that is why
we are most welcoming.
That is where my point comes from. That is where my point comes from. We welcomed them because we didn't know their plan, what their plan was. We didn't know. We didn't have the knowledge to understand these guys are up to something.
No,
we thought they are mere visitors. They are just visitors.
Yeah, because they came smiling.
Yeah, and
even if you as a black man, even if you go to a white land smiling and if you have your own mission, they wouldn't know because we are most welcoming.
The knowing, the knowledge, the understanding. We didn't know. That knowledge was not with us. We thought they are good people, and so we welcomed them. And when they entered Africa, because they had organized themselves, they were organized. They had plans. They knew very well what their mission was. So when they came to Africa, when they entered Africa, they began doing their things, and we thought whatever they were doing was good. They began telling us about Christianity. They began telling us, and so because we didn't have that knowledge of understanding that these guys are deceiving us, when these guys are trying to actually trap us into something, we gave out everything we had. Okay? So we knew that these guys were up to something when we were already
It was too late.
Yeah, when we were already at a point of no return. So before we knew, before that knowledge now began maybe having shed in us, we had already gotten to a point of no return. And that is why it was very difficult, actually, for them to do what? That is why it was very difficult for us to be able to counter-attack them. That is where they brought their weapons. That is where they now began using power. And we fought. Okay? Why am I saying we have potentials? I'm saying we have potential because these guys, they had weapons. And these guys, they had everything they could use to actually make us continue kneeling for them and serving them. Okay? We didn't have a lot of things. We didn't have those things to fight.
Let me tell you why.
But what did we do?
Let me tell you why.
We were able to take them out of our country. That is why I'm saying we have potential. But again, they used the knowledge they have to trick us.
Let me tell you why I was telling you that black people or African were the most knowledgeable people. Because most innovators who have invent things are black people.
Okay. Yeah, true, sure.
Most of them, starting from John Washington, the one of the famous one. We have more innovators. If you can mention the few in the comment section, but we have a lot of innovators. We have the likes of Jody Reed. We have the likes of Benjamin Beneka. We have the one who invented the wall clock. So it's not that we did not have knowledge. That's a way. Everyone has a way of trapping, just trapping us.
That's sure.
We had knowledge.
We had knowledge. But
even if they could not come, we could just evolve to.
Yes, we could.
Yeah.
Yes, we could. But they knew. Okay, they knew within time. As time goes, a time will come when Africans will have understood all these things. The difference between we and them is one. They understood before us. That's the difference. Okay? Not that we were maybe fools or maybe we didn't understand what we were doing, but the difference between us and them is that they understood before us. They were just ahead of time a little bit. And so they thought, let us take advantage of this moment when they do not understand what we are doing to go and do whatever we are doing before they come to realize they were ahead of us a little bit.
But when we realize it, we will weaken them.
We will weaken them. And that is what is happening right now. Right now, we do not expect a person from the West or maybe someone to come to Africa and tell us, this we are supposed to do. No. We are people like you. We can do our things an African way, like you can do it your ways. Okay? You don't have to tell us do this. And that is what Traore is doing in Burkina Faso.
Yeah.
It is only that some countries in Africa, they are not yet up. They haven't yet waken up to be able to realize that we need to. They are still doing the politics of corruption and enriching themselves. That's what they are doing. But we have woken up. Right now, there is nothing we don't know as Africans.
Yeah.
People from Africa, there is nothing we don't know. There's nothing anymore we expect. Like, for example, right now, someone would think, for example, Burkina Faso was depending on France to raise their economy. I want you to compare the economy of Burkina Faso when France was in Burkina Faso and now that when France is not in Burkina Faso. Can you tell the difference?
This big, much bigger difference.
And that shows we don't need this people actually to do maybe to exist or maybe to develop our countries.
We need the white people the time when we are doing business.
Yeah.
Because we need to have good relation because we are human beings.
We are human beings.
But it's not one party to oppress another party.
One.
If we do legit business, it's okay and it's good.
Yeah. When you come to our country, this is our country.
And we are most welcome.
Our country, we have got rules. As the same way, if you go to America right now, maybe if you go to Britain right now, if you go to Russia right now, if you go to France right now, there are things you cannot do. Because it is their country and they have got rules
and we have
and regulations. When you go there and mess around, you will be arrested. You will be brought into. Are you getting that?
Books, yeah.
And why is it that when a white person comes to Africa, maybe to a certain country in Africa,
the laws are loosened?
The laws are loosened. Why? Is it because they're better than us? No, they're not better than us. We are as the same way as they are.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
And so whatever Ibrahim is doing is trying to tell these people that you're not better than us. We are equal to you.
To you.
And maybe we are better than you because we have a lot of things. You depend on us to survive, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very true. Now, if you're watching this video all over Africa, South Africa, Burkina Faso, Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, Rwanda, everywhere you're watching from, Caribbean, Jamaica, Trinidad and Tobago, Haiti, if you're watching from Grenada, if you're watching from USA, if you're watching from Canada, if you're watching from Germany, if you're watching from anywhere from the world, tell me what you think on the comment section. And if you are white or black, we don't discriminate. We are all brothers. Our blood is red. It's just we are enlightening ourselves and enlightening people about what's happening
And
now.
trying to make people understand that respect
Yeah,
is paid.
and trying to
by
make
respect.
world a better place.
A better place.
And Africans, we,
don't
have to do African ways.
other people to live in the world. It's
Yeah.
like they feel like living here in the world is just terrible. It's
Yeah.
bad. No.
Yeah.
Let everybody feel we are living in a better place.
Tell me what you are thinking about Ibrahim Traore. He went in power when he was 34 years old and he's doing great job and he has get a lot of masses behind him supporting him. We know and we pray that he will do the best job. Until next episode, peace
Be with
be
you.
with you.